What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2. We are here in Elemental Rumble Hard Mode, Unholy Catacombs, and we're basically going to do the same exact build as yesterday. So, it didn't change anything at all on the defenses. We got anti-melee, defense range, and defense rate on the plasma defense, with Plasma Echo, Mass Destruction, and Destruction. And then I'm using my old Tenacity Relic with Shocking or Stunning Revelations from my weapon manufacturer. A main thing there is we just want the defense rate and tenacity. Obviously, we get no value out of Stunning Revelations. And then we're going to use a Water Aura as well with Anti-Heal on it, Deadly Strikes, Destruction, and Defense Rate. So let's go ahead and start things off. As I mentioned, it's going to be pretty much the exact same build as yesterday. Just different map and, you know, slightly different loadout. So I'm going to go with one node up top, one down below on the biometric scanner. We'll throw that water Ella, kind of in a similar fashion, put it up high. That way we get a little value down below and a little value up top. We're going to do the exact same thing over here. Water Aura down there, and then we'll get the old biometric scanner in play. Something like that, and then we'll rinse and repeat that one more time over here. Now, there's lots of different places we're going to be able to put our PDS. I'm going to just go up top with them, though. I think, you know, obviously the best thing to do would be to put them in the dead center, which would be like along here. Would be the most optimal placement, but I am going to throw them right back up top. Get that alt moved out of the way here, and let's do it up. So we want one kind of dead center, and we're going to put another one here. We're going with 10 of them total, so we're going to go 2 on each side of that one that's centered, or 4 on each side, I should say. A 2x2 there. Going to do the same thing over here. Something along those lines. Now let's go ahead and get our pylons in place. Just going to center that right here, and then we'll get a buff beam down as well. I'm using diffusion on the buff beam, and of course I got range pylon on the reflect beam, and that doesn't get us all the way to the range cap, but it gets us pretty close. And then we'll just throw a boost star in over here for good measure. Now, as you see, we got 90 DU left. What I was doing is I was throwing a reflect beam around the core and then throwing frost strike auras down there. However, I did realize after running a couple of maps and forgetting to build those, that they're just completely unneeded. So with that in mind, let's just let it fly and see how this one holds up. Now, I brought my alt along, specifically just to show that this is an alt-friendly build, and the only challenge with it, really, is we have to kind of reach to get over into the mobs to get our cooldown refreshed on our buff here. So we're going to have to shoot kind of down into there. Once the flyers roll in, we can just shoot at the flyers, of course, and that takes care of it. But we do have to kind of get up and over the ledge there to get, you know, to get our buffing in order here. We do have a few enemies that are making it up top. No big deal there. We just let them come and just keep boosting it out. So I will hop onto my alt and get a double boost going. You see my alt is playing on the Countess, and specifically for that Countess boost. So we will take advantage of that. Once we get a little bit more challenging set of enemies, like some elite elementals or mini bosses in the waves here to come. And just finding basically anywhere to shoot where I can hit an enemy. That way my cooldown gets refreshed on my talisman. Of course, I want to have as close to 100% uptime as possible there. And yeah, that's what we're going for here, so just beasting it away. Now, I can confirm this exact build does 100% AFK a 4-player Chaos 10 expedition. So if you wanted to do a build like this, then you would want to swap out, because if you're fully AFK, that means, of course, you're not tower boosting. so we wouldn't have the additional range that we're getting from boosting on the initiate. So we would want to swap destruction out for vicious strikes on the shard. In fact, we could completely get rid of the range mod as well. Just having vicious strikes would get us to the range cap with our diffusion and pylons, of course. And just letting the last few burn off here. Let's go ahead and run around and grab up some of the juice that dropped. Yeah, see, if we would have built more centered on the map, we would have more kills in the center lane down below. Down below is slightly out of range. Now, just like on the last run on Crossroads, we're only going to do one wave worth of upgrades. So just going to try to spam them around, make them as even as possible. Yet no real urgency. In fact, I'm going to hop on the alt and just upgrade that boost aura a couple of times just to get the additional charges here. But let's just go ahead and let it fly and see what happens when we get some bosses into the mix. Get our talisman down and then start shooting into the lane down below. That way we get that reset. You see we got an Orc Water Commander rolling out now. Just keep our talisman up as often as we can. Like I mentioned with the flyers, once you get flyers coming in on the map, it becomes a lot easier to keep your talisman up. You don't have to jump around to try to hit anything. You can just sit there and spray down the flyers, and that'll get that cooldown reset for you. Pretty smooth run altogether, and like I mentioned, I do know that this is 4-player complete AFK. I had my alt and then a friend and their alt a couple of nights ago, and we were grinding out some clusters, and we did this map and this build. And we basically, after getting, we did put that first, after wave 1, that first set of upgrades in. But once that was in, it was pretty much GG's. We just kind of chillaxed. Now, we did pop down and get in on siege rollers, just to make sure they were good and dead. However, the siege rollers were dying prior to getting in the mix. I'll probably do a run on that and show you all what I did as well. Additionally, if you want better coverage down below to get more directly up front killing to make the map run a little quicker, you can put that water aura and then the biometric scanner node down below. What you would do then is just split the lane, basically. So you would put one node, like say over here, and then stretch it over and put the other node over here. That will hit the enemies into the spawn, or onto the stairs at least anyway, and it gives a little bit better coverage down below with just getting everything good and cleared out there. But we're just going to let this one fly. Like I said, I'm not going to bother with any upgrades past this point, so we're just going to focus on boosting it out. Using a knockback build is another one of those maps. I mentioned it in the last one. You don't want to knock back the enemies if you're shooting at them down below. So I do have to be careful with that on my initiate, since I am very focused on the knockback on this character. If you do, then you're going to knock the enemies back out of range, and your PDS is not going to be able to hit them. So you want to be cautious of that. So far, so good, though. We got flyers coming in, so we got pretty much the instant cooldown refresh on our talisman. Well, when they're here, anyway. We got another Orc Commander rolling in. It's the only downside, really, about this one. Like, if you had Magus, or Molten Citadel, pardon me, wrong game. Well, I was thinking DD1, but if you had Molten Citadel as the map, where you had clear line of sight shooting into the enemies, then of course keeping your uptime on your talisman at 100% would be just, you know, a complete non-issue here. I think the way to go is to build them down here, actually. You know, I just instinctively put them up top just because, you know, it's a nice, cool little platform up there. But if you put them down below, they are going to hit into that lane over there a lot easier. And a lot sooner. Right now, of course, they're not hitting those enemies at all until they come up around the curve here. But we'll just keep blasting them away. We got 100 mobs left. The baddies have a long way to walk on this one. That much is for certain. And that makes it so that the PDS is really going to shine. As we've got the ability to hit through walls and the awesome range on them. We got us a water mage commander, if that commander will ever make it out here. It's buried behind that pack down there, it looks like. Just keep letting it fly here. And yeah, there's the water mage commander's finally in range. Looks like I'm going to lose my talisman, though. There we go. We got it back up, and the commander is just going to burn. And there we go. Another smooth wave. So let's just G it up. Once again, if you run around and grab the mana and actually dump it into upgrades. In fact, let me upgrade that boost star one more time on my alt. Just because it will run out of charges if you're not careful on this one. With 10 defenses that shoot twice per second, you can deplete your boost aura if you're not careful. So you'll want to either repair or upgrade it as you get through. As you go through and get some mana. Orc Fire Commander this time. Just try to keep shooting it wherever we have a target we can hit. And overall, pretty smooth burn on this one. It does go really well. Of course, if you get a captain every now and then, they might get uppity on you, so you'll just want to watch your mini-map. If you see a captain about to zerg the core, by the time they make it to the core, they're going to be super low. But you may have to intervene a little bit there. And here we are, wave 4. I've completely forgot about boosting on my alt. So I've got my alt here, but I'm not getting the benefit of having an alt here for the tower boosting. Well, we still got 200 enemies left, so we may end up using them here yet. Using her, pardon me, the lovely Countess. Gonna have to just wait it out on these guys, wait for them to get here. Yeah, you know, in hindsight, going back, I think I would build down there. You see those enemies there are just taking way too long to get around and get up into range. We got a Fire Mage Commander rolling out, so let's go ahead and we'll boost on our Countess. We'll drop our Talisman, and hopefully that Fire Mage is going to take some shots here. Try to keep this Talisman boost going here. The Fire Mage Commander is just not getting into range down there. So we're going to have to wait for it to make the turn. Give a little help on these flyers. Alright, and there we go. Now the Fire Mage Commander is in range. Wasted my Countess boost, sadly. But that's alright, because the Fire Commander is still going to burn. Just keep buffing it up. It is important, if you're not using Vicious, or Deadly for that matter, on your PDS, to make sure you're keeping your Initiate boost uptime as high as possible. As, you know, you're getting a range boost along with that power boost there, which is pretty substantial, without a doubt. Just go ahead and let it fly here for the last wave. I'm gonna hopefully get a little better, better boost timing on my Countess this time. Some more flyers would actually kind of be welcome as far as keeping my talisman uptime up. We're doing okay this wave. But definitely some sketchy angles as far as getting that cooldown reset. Just keep boosting them up. I'm gonna hold off still on my on my Countess boost. Just don't feel like I need it quite yet. This map, of course, does run a little bit slower than Forest Crossroads does. But at the same time, if we would have moved, if we would have built these down there instead, I think we would have made up at least maybe 2 minutes. We would have made up a couple of minutes, I think. There's no doubt there. We also would have had a harder time shooting into the enemies, though. So to keep the talisman uptime going on our initiate. So I guess to each their own. I got a little slightly better angle here as far as keeping my cooldown up. Electric Mage Commander coming on through. As soon as they're in range, the nuking begins, though. It just gets blasted. Absolutely blasted. And then that Fire Mage Commander. Oh, I completely forgot about using my alt boost. And now we've only got 18 mobs left, so kind of not needed at this point. I guess we can slap it in. We still have the Fire Mage in there. We'll get that count as boosting here. And there we go. When the double boost kicks in, oh, it is GG's. That is for sure. So let's check it out and see what I didn't get on this one. Of course, the fastest way is just to hit G and move along here. That's what I do when I'm not recording, but one of these days I'm actually going to catch some loot on the ground. But it looks like it's not going to be today, so yeah, another boo on the loot here in Elemental Rumble. But that will get it for now. Thanks an absolute ton for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time. Take it easy.